Welcome to ClickFunnels Radio, the podcast that brings you the latest strategies, insights, and success stories from online marketers just like you who utilize funnels to grow their business. Our mission is simple: to help you unleash the true potential of your online business by harnessing the power of funnels. Join us every week as we bring you exclusive interviews and thought-provoking discussions that will revolutionize the way you approach online marketing. Here are your hosts, Laura Demetrius and Chris Cameron.
Welcome back out to ClickFunnels Radio. My name is Chris Cameron, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Laura Demetrius. How are you, Laura?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I understand that you're getting over a cold. How are you feeling today?
Good. I'm on like day 5, so I still sound a little bit congested, but I'm on the up and up. I've got a travel weekend.
You sound awesome.
Some hot beverages.
Perfect. Well, I am stoked, literally stoked to invite as the guests today, 2 of my really good friends. I've known these guys for years now. Ryan Lee and Brad Gibb of Cashflow Tactics. These 2 guys are amazing instructors, and I'm so excited to have them at Funnel Hacking Live. But what you find a lot of times with people who are amazing teachers, amazing instructors, is sometimes they are the best students. And that's what I love about these 2, is they have shown up in Russell's community. They're like OGs of like Inner Circle. These guys have followed the framework completely from like, hey, we do kind of a non-traditional life insurance, investment type of opportunity that traditionally had been done with network marketing. And they have used funnels to blow up this movement and literally help hundreds and thousands of people, as their catchphrase goes, to rise up and live free. So welcome, Brad and Ryan. How are you guys?
What's up, guys? Hey, it's such an honor. It's such a privilege to be with you. And we're excited to talk about the fact that we've given Russell years of our life and many dollars out of our bank account and shown us a plain book to success. I don't know if that makes it smart or dumb, but it takes us a long time to get it down.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Thanks for joining us today.
Stoked to be here, guys. Thanks.
I think maybe that's the easiest place to start. And maybe I'll start with you, Brad, is, because I have actually known Ryan on a personal level. We were in the same neighborhood.
I'm sorry about that. That's rough.
I know our kids are buddies, but I've watched you 2 just completely grow, especially like as a stage speaker, because I love doing that stuff. And you guys have to be like, everybody listening, get excited, because Brad, listen, Ryan's good. Okay, fine. But Brad brings the heat. And listen, Ryan would say this like from stage, funny, everything else. I would love to hear from you first, Brad. Like, talk about this journey of getting maybe out of corporate America, hooking up with Ryan. I know you guys worked together before. How then did you transition into this whole funnel world and find Russell? Where did that all start?
Oh, boy. So once upon a time, right? We go all the way back. Ryan and I were in the traditional financial services industries, but we had a very non-traditional desire for what we wanted to help people accomplish, because we had used the tools, the methodologies. We had proven it on ourselves. We had done it. And we were able to create our own version of financial freedom in a fraction of the time that it takes in the normal, very traditional pathway. But as non-traditional things go, people didn't just start flocking to us and throw money at us and say, well, it worked for you guys. Well, of course I should do all this stuff, right? We know that products don't sell themselves, even if they're the best and even if they work. And so, especially being that we're very non-traditional, we have a very freedom-minded focus around what we're helping clients accomplish. We started looking for, like, how do we get this out there? And at this point, we're still, shirt and tie, very office, very belly to belly selling, the very, very traditional type thing. And we were trying to figure out a way that we could not sell more insurance, not sell more financial products, but how we could really reach and change people's entire perspective about what is possible inside of their lives, and use money and finance and investments to, like we said, rise up and live free and pursue that purpose that they have inside of them. Like, that's our game. That's why we still play this. But, we tried the traditional marketing thing of, we went and had this, I don't know if you guys have heard of websites. I know they're dead. They've been dead for a long time. But like, if you remember back when there used to be these things called websites, right? We launched that and then sat and crickets and nothing happened. And we went through all of it. We paid high price consultants, got nowhere, and roadblock after roadblock until Ryan had a conversation with one of our friends who used to work at Agora Financial. And so they're one of the kingpins of direct response marketing, this whole online space. And he handed Ryan a book. It's called, I don't know if you guys have ever read it. It's called .com Secrets. And Ryan read it in like 28 minutes. And then he got online and booked tickets to this rock concert / marketing event in San Diego. And he even tell me about it. He just read the book, bought the ticket.
Was that 2017?
This is 2017, San Diego, Funnel Hacking Live 2. I think we missed the first one. Funnel Hacking Live 2. And he books the tickets. It just says, meet me at the airport. We're leaving tomorrow. I'm like, all right, we got nothing else going on because nothing we're doing is working. So I guess we're getting on a plane. Hands me the book as I walk on the plane, and I read it as we fly to San Diego. And we're down the rabbit hole at that point, right? I mean, it took us a while to get our bearings, figure out what the heck is this all about. But Russell said something from stage that then stuck with us. And he was on stage, he was talking about, and he was going through the frameworks of .com Secrets at that point. And he's like, look, I'm not here to teach you to be a better marketer. I'm not here to teach you the X's and O's of how to be techie and all that stuff. We know that's not what Russell does. But he's like, he's like, if you follow me, we'll do two things. One, we will collapse a decade worth of time into the next 12 months. And I will teach you to not sell things, but lead movements. And those two things, like, I understand the words that he said, but we actually didn't take him up on the offer, which if Russell ever offers you anything, you should take it immediately, every time. But we got on a plane, flew home. I went to bed and I woke up at like 2 a.m. And those two things we're going through, I will teach you to lead a movement and we'll collapse a decade worth of struggle into the next 12 months. And I logged in, signed up for Inner Circle, sent Ryan a text message. Was like, I don't know, man, but I just sent our life savings and we're going. Shut the laptop, slept like a baby, and we've never looked back. That's how we got into all of this.
Ryan,
you talked about selling insurance, and then you also talked about like creating impact. And you mentioned that before you even met with Russell, and before you even flew to San Diego. At what point did you know that you had a fire in you to do something different with your business?
Ryan, I'll hand this one to you. I want to say something. I want to hear yours. I knew it when the group we were working with was pushing us out because they're like, stop talking about all this other stuff. Just be quiet and sell insurance and be happy about it. And I was like, this is what we got into this to do. So we were round pegs in a square hole from the beginning in the entire world of insurance and world of financial services and all of that anyway. And it was very clear something had to change because they were forcing. Yeah. But Ryan, what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, I would agree to all of that, Laura. The reality of it is what drew Brad and I together in the very beginning, before we ever got into the financial services world, we met in a book group of all places, because we were both looking for something more in our life, and we pursued something more through the gateway of money, but we knew it wasn't money. We knew we needed more money to live abundantly and fulfill the dreams that we had. But the two of us are very purpose-driven individuals. And when we met in a little book group, we could immediately tell, even though we lived in different states, we can immediately tell that we were highly driven, highly goal-oriented, and chasing something that no one else in that group and very few people that we've ever interacted with were actually chasing. And so the two of us actually split off and became accountability partners, which then by default allowed us to open up what we were working on individually with our finances, our families, our lives. And we just started to create some synergy together. And ultimately, this is what led us to create what is today Cashflow Tactics. I mean, it's what led us to go into the insurance world. It's what led us to go into the financial product world, because we found out that money is just a tool. It's not a tool for one day. Retirement's not a destination. You don't get there and your life, all works out. Money is a tool to build and live a life that matters right now. And that's for us what Rise Up, Live Free means. Today, we've been trained, taught, and educated as individuals to hand our money to someone else. And we believe that someone else financial advisors, Wall Street, or you name it, fill in the blank, they have our best interest in mind. And when they do their job, then we will be happy. And that's the furthest thing from the truth as possible. So our gateway to our community is Rise Up. That's the first step to getting what you ultimately want. Rise up, take control of your money, use a principle-based approach, and then live free as the gateway that you walk through.
Very cool. I love that. As two people in a similar industry, you both felt like you had a bigger purpose than what you were being boxed in to do, and that you managed to find each other.
That's it.
And that's a lot of trust. My gosh. I mean, Brad talks about dropping that first check for Inner Circle. Was there a conversation that happened? I mean, if you find, your Brad or your Ryan, like you have to dig into that and you have to have a lot of trust. Talk about that relationship. Like, do you both specialize in something? Is somebody the one that handles all the finances, all the training? Like, how does that work? What's that dynamic like?
Yeah, you know what? That's a phenomenal thing. I think one of the first things that allowed us to create a movement was getting oriented with what our true values are. And, this was a really hard thing because up to this point, we served people with financial problems. And I'll never forget, when we came into ClickFunnels world and we joined Inner Circle, we thought, cool, we have got the solution of all solutions. Like the thing we do helps anyone with money. And I'll never forget when we sat down in front of Russell back in the day when you came into Inner Circle, he would do what was called a decade in a day. And you had a half hour to tell him what your unique business is, who you serve, and how you do something better than anyone else. And Brad and I were both pretty excited about this because we serve people with money, right? We serve people with money. And if that's true, everyone that I know has money, whether it's a lot of it or a little bit or somewhere in between. So then by default, we should have the biggest, most successful business in the entire world because we can help everyone with money. I'll never forget when we sat down in front of Russell and we told him those exact words. He said, "You guys are dead in the water." And he considered refunding us our Inner Circle payments. Because when you when you talk to everyone, you serve no one.
Oh, so true.
That was the most, like, for the next 3, and guys, for anyone listening to this, no one understands. For 3 years, we struggled mightily. We went to every Inner Circle meeting. We went to every ClickFunnels event. We listened to every podcast. Everything that was put out by Russell, we followed, we tried, we implemented, and we had marginal degrees of success. We really did. But it was always, this idea was always elusive. How do we go big? How do we go big? How do we go big? And there were several times that Brad and I contemplated quitting the Inner Circle because, man, we don't know what the heck we're doing, obviously. I remember for years we would go and watch the presentation of the awards, the 2 Comma Club awards, and we would watch person after person after person go across the stage. And over time, it started to build our belief if they can do it, we can do it as well. But look, here's where it changed for us. Where it changed for us more than anything as it relates to a movement is we spent a lot of time getting clear on what our core values are, what drives us, what emotionally we would wake up and do tomorrow, even if there wasn't money on the table. And once we understood that about Brad and about myself, and most of our values completely align. There are a few that Brad leans more heavily into than I do, and vice versa. But once we understood who we are, what we stand for, we then by default understood who we wanted to connect with. And we went back to our entire business up to that point and said, hey guys, you might hate us. I'm sorry if that's the case, but we are only doing this for this type of people going forward. And we had, I don't know, Brad, do you remember how many clients left us? Maybe half of our clients left us because
at least
they didn't resonate with what we were talking about anymore. They just wanted a financial product. And even though we had the products weren't what we were actually trying to help people see and believe. And so when we got really clear on who we are and how we want to show up in the marketplace and how we want to talk, and by default, the avatar we want to serve, that's what allowed us to enter the gateway of what creating a movement is actually all about.
And then I imagine you were really able to hone in on, you're talking to one specific avatar, one specific person who perfectly fits your mold rather than everybody.
Bingo. And man, I tell you what, now when we talk to that person, we talk to them as if we have been in their house or in their life or in their mind for years listening to them because we know them. We were them. We were literally turning around and serving the person that we used to be. And so knowing that has allowed us to build a movement because by default, we're building up like-minded individuals who have a common enemy, and we're going to a commonly desired destination. And that destination isn't for everyone, and the common enemy isn't for everyone. But when we find our tribe and we put them on that direction, man, that's how things start to go.
Obviously, this has worked, right? Because you're no longer sitting in the seats watching other people get awards, right? And starting at Inner Circle, and this Inner Circle has evolved. You are at the highest level of Inner Circle Atlas, and you're paying a hefty fee to be there. Man, how do you stay motivated then? I mean, you talk about core values, and I think maybe you nailed this, and maybe Brad, you can talk about it too, is that's probably what's aligned you guys. But how do you stay motivated when the success has happened, and you're now continuing, and you're probably more passionate than ever? Can you speak to that?
Brad, you got that one?
Yeah, I'll jump in and take that for sure. Core values align. And that's what got started. But it is like we're just hanging out with Russell in the Inner Circle at Pirates Cove just last week. And this always comes up, is to be like, wait, why are we all still here again? Like, we're all doing fine. We all hit our goals. We're all like, why are we doing this? But back to our original desire, when we said we wanted to start into the financial industry, we didn't give you a numbers goal. We didn't say we want to make $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, right? That we didn't enter with a finite game, with a scoreboard that we wanted to win. We entered in looking to make impact, looking to change people's lives. And we connected. The avatar is so much more than a marketing tactic. It's, in fact, if you treat it as a marketing tactic, it's only going to serve you for so long. And then eventually you're going to burn out. You're going to need to change. You're going to need it. It isn't a marketing tactic, because we know who these people are, and we know what our product does for them and how it changes their life. I am now addicted to finding the next person who we can change what their life looks like and move forward. And we will get paid in the process. I know that. It's great. But what really continues the drive is we are changing lives. We have a movement, and we're dedicated to the people inside of that, right? And then we're motivated and incentivized, and we get excited about, because we've reinvented our business so many times. We've had to reinvent ourselves so many times because the world has changed, and our avatar, their lives have changed. And so that it just self-reinforces. There's always, inside of this infinite game, that ends up opening up. There is no finish line. There is no stopping point. It's just, we just continue to iterate and iterate. And it's fun because we've connected our services to the impact of the people that we serve.
Mm-hmm. Going back to belief, because I know that this is a big theme for you guys. And it seems like you both have overcome a lot of obstacles. And it felt like at first that there were maybe failures or doubts in where you were going to take this business. And if you were in the right space, and if you were doing the right things and meeting with the right people, and you never gave up, and you made it to where you are now. Like, what do you think it was that was constantly driving you to keep moving forward? And even when you felt the most doubt in what you were doing, that maybe this wasn't going to work for your business, what do you think kept you going?
I love that. Lauren, there's probably a couple of things. I'm going to give you the number one thing for me. And I think this is the power of ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels isn't a software. ClickFunnels isn't a series of books, and ClickFunnels isn't Russell Brunson. It's now gone way beyond that. And ClickFunnels is a community. And I'll tell you what, over and over and over again, I can't tell you how many times it's happened where we've arrived and our belief is so low because our skill sets are so low, because we've had so much, the lack of what you would perceive as success. And we've been kicked in the face so many times, and the world tells you that you can't do it. And our belief levels are at the rock bottom. And then we show up to ClickFunnels, whether it's a live event, whether it's an Inner Circle event, whether it's some one-on-one time with Russell, whatever that is. When we get back in that environment with those people, we realize that we can do it. That if they can do it, I can as well. And I'll never forget, for me, when my belief became, it went from faith to belief to certainty in this single moment. Over years, we went and we watched people, get their 2 Comma Club award. And, in the beginning, it was awesome, right? We're like, oh my gosh, look at all these different people from so many different industries. We're smarter than them. We can do it. We've got a great industry, all the things. If they can do it, we can do it. And, that belief just kept building up and building up. But after 1 year, not having the results, after 2 years, not having the results, on our third ClickFunnels, Funnel Hacking Live, we went there and we still hadn't had the results that we wanted. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget, because we made a commitment every single time we were going to go to that award ceremony, we were going to stand up and clap for everyone there because, my goodness, it helped build our belief. And I need to remember this dude's name. Someone reminded me what it was last time I was talking about it. But there was this guy, and he was probably in his mid 60s, maybe even early 70s. And he retired, but didn't have enough money to fulfill the retirement that he wanted. And so he opened up one of those little push cart stands that you see at like parks where you would sell hot dogs.
Yeah.
He opened up and started pushing around a cart that would sell hot dogs. And I don't know about you, but when I think about that, I think there's not a lot of money in hot dogs, right?
Yeah.
But this dude found a way to build a community around him of other people who were in retirement, similar as him, who didn't have enough money and they needed some supplemental income. And so he taught a course and led a group of, retirees on how to push hot dog cart stands and make whatever they could make.
No
and
way.
That dude walked across stage on that third Funnel Hacking Live and got his 2 Comma Club award.
Wow.
And I'll never forget that. When that guy walked across stage, my level of certainty inside of myself went over the top. I didn't believe anymore. I realized that if he can do it, literally, if that hot dog cart guy can do it, then I can do it. And I'm going to do it or I'm going to die trying. Like literally, that's when it changed for me. And I have to tell you that, Laura, there's a lot of things that have helped us stay on the path. But I think more than anything, it's the community. It's the community that Russell's built of like-minded individuals, because the other unique thing about the ClickFunnels community, some people are there to make money, and I get money as justification for what we're doing. That's how you stay in business. I do not want to underscore the importance of money, obviously, in running a business. But so many people in that room are there because they want what Brad talked about. They want impact. They believe that they have a God-given gift, talent, and ability that was given to them for a reason. And they are stewarding that talent so that they can then go out and serve other people. That talent wasn't given to them for them. That talent was given to them for others. Yeah. And that's what I love about this community. This community are purpose-driven, like-minded, unique entrepreneurs that are there to find fulfillment by using their talents and abilities to serve more people.
I love that. In fact, when you guys were talking about kind of your origin story and how you both felt like you had a deeper passion and you wanted to create bigger impact in your industry, I was thinking like, it's kind of like being in a room full of people that are black and white, and you're just out there in a neon color, and you find the very select few other people that are big dreamers, big believers, just like you are. And you can find such a great connection with them, which is what you guys did. And I think what's really cool is when you go to events like Funnel Hacking Live, it's just a bunch of neon people that all have that sense of belief. They all have this desire to do something. And that's so beautiful, because when you guys speak on stage, it's going to be a lot of people just like glowing and getting excited and cheering and encouraging the other people who are walking across that stage too, and are in a similar position to where you guys were that year that you watched, and you watched the hot dog cart guy, and they're going to get that sense of belief from you now. And I think that's really powerful.
What's super cool about FHL is like, we've been going every year since the second one. And there's few other places where, like, you're right, we get to go back and now give back and transfer belief to someone who was in our seat, right, where we were 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, where we needed somebody who believed more than us and we could borrow theirs and we could go out. And so Funnel Hacking Live, regardless of where you're at, like, we got to hang out at Pirates Cove because we needed to have conversations with people that are running businesses at that level, but we're still going to go to Funnel Hacking Live because there is, to drink from the community well is a powerful thing. And it's served us and will continue to serve us. So it's unlike any other place in the world. Yeah, and everyone's going to go. You need to go.
Well, thank you, because as much as, you guys get, served from the community, having these types of conversations serve so many others as well. So we appreciate you being a part of it.
Yeah. And speaking to that, I think everybody would love to hear maybe just a little taste of what you plan on sharing at Funnel Hacking Live. Maybe each of you can kind of take just a quick minute to say, like, just preview it for us.
Brad, you take the first shot.
Okay, I'm just going to open a loop as to why they need to come.
Perfect. That's what we need.
To keep you. So our presentation is not for everybody in the room. It is only for less than 20% of people that are going to be in the room. However, what we teach and cover will account for more than 80% of the collective revenue for that entire room. And that's why you need to come listen to what we're going to present on and how we're going to talk about. It's only for 20%, but it will account for more than 80% of the revenue that will be generated for the next 12 months out of the people in that room.
That's a hook.
Loop.
Yeah.
How do you
Top
like
that one, Ryan?
Well, I'm going to go the other side. And this is where I think Brad and I have found our synergy together. Brad has some very unique skill sets. I think of Brad, remember back in the day, the movie The Matrix, right? And Neo was this unique chosen individual who could look into the world of machines and see the numbers. He could see the hallway and the people. They were all made of numbers. He could see that. He could see a world that very few people could see. But then he could turn around to the rest of us and translate that world into reality for the rest of us. And that's Brad's superpower. And I'm grateful to be in partnership with him. On the other side of that equation, I really believe, and this will kind of build off of what I just barely said, I actually believe it's your obligation. I believe that your obligation as a human being on this earth is to find your why, find your superpower, find your talent. And if you really believe in this idea that you were given a talent from a higher being, whatever you want to call that being or whatever purpose that was given to you for, then you have to take that belief one step further. Was that talent given to you for you? And inevitably it was not. My wife, she wrote a book a couple of years ago, in fact, several years ago. And the writing of the book was so fun for her because she got to use her talent and pour these words onto pages. But guess what? When that book was done, no one read it. When that book was done, she had fun writing it, but no one read it. And that was the most demotivating, unfulfilling thing she had ever done. So we went down the rabbit hole of how do we get a publisher? How do we get this book in front of people? And over the next couple of years, we found an avenue to do that. And then testimonials started coming in. People started sending her pictures of their daughters or their family members reading the book on their family vacation. One lady sent in, she did a full body painting of herself, like as she was the main character of the book. And my friends, do you want to know what happened? The fulfillment of writing that book went through the roof. You see, writing the book wasn't the thing that she wanted to do. She wanted to change someone's life.
Yeah.
And that fulfillment comes for all of us when we use our God-given gifts in the service of other people. And I think fulfillment is one of the most missing pieces of the human puzzle and the human experience right now. So my friends, you're going to come to Funnel Hacking Live to find a couple of different things. Number one, you're going to find some belief that you have a purpose, that your message matters, that your trials, your tribulations, the challenges that you've gone through were given to you for a purpose. So you can find meaning in that and turn around and serve someone else. You're going to find the frameworks to launch and scale a business because dollars are required in order to do that. But if you're really looking below the surface, you will find the avenue to ultimate fulfillment. And if you think about that, how much fulfillment do any one of us want? All of it, right? It's an infinite game. So why would we ever stop? When you find something that is fulfilling to you, you play that game as hard as you can possibly play. And winning is the simple matter of continuing to play.
That's great.
Mic drops all over the place. You two, if you haven't inspired people to come to Funnel Hacking Live, like, I don't know what will. But
can I just give a little tease? And this might be a special teaser for just ClickFunnels Radio listeners, because I know we don't typically give out the full schedule of speakers before the event itself. But we know that you two are going to be speaking on day one. And based on the things that you've shared with us today, that is so powerful in and of itself, because what you're doing is and talking about is so foundational, which I think clears the way for what people are able to build in their own business for the days to follow. Because what you're talking about, like, it's the start, it's the end all be all. It's why people are doing what they're doing. And if they don't have that figured out yet, when they hear from you guys, they're going to start to think about those things. And it really does set the trajectory of the things that they do to follow. And I think that's going to be cool.
I mean, this is a full circle moment too, because Brad, Ryan, as you've sat and you've gone through this process, you've always seen other people that did it, and you had this belief now that you could do it. So the invitation now to everybody is to look at Ryan, look at Brad. They're on top of the mountain. It wasn't always that way, but they know the path. And I can promise you that if they can do it, you can do it as well. So come out, listen to these guys. Not only are they incredible businessmen, but they are incredible men. I know their family values. I know these guys individually, and I'm impressed with them. So you're gonna learn a lot from them. Will you tell us, guys, real quick, the best way for people to find you? Obviously, at Funnel Hacking Live, where's the best place for them to go follow you online, maybe get involved with your program?
Yeah, we're online in all the ways. Brad is kind of antithesis of social media right now. He's on a social media fast. But you can find me, Ryan D. Lee. The best way to find us is just go to Cashflow Tactics. Go to cashflowtactics.com, Facebook, Rise Up Live, or Rise Up Live Free podcast, any one of those places. You'll find what we represent, how we serve people, and how we translate a movement into financial principles.
Thank you guys so much for being here. It was really impactful, and I hope a lot of our listeners are very intrigued in buying their tickets right now because they want to hear all about your story. Thanks again.
Let's go.
Superstars. See you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.